What's up? What's up? How are y'all doing today? Hey, it is me, E-Man, and today we are going to break down episode 6 of Bel-Air. I actually enjoyed this episode. I have to say, we got some people acting out of pocket. There's some people out here acting out of pocket, but we gonna deal with them. We're gonna talk about it all in this breakdown. So let's jump right into it. Trey went back to Philly to continue crying about Will not coming back home. He took his pettiness to social media to clown Will online. Now, Will was hurt by this and wanted some space to be alone. Uncle Phil gives him a heart to heart and tells him that it ain't all about him. And even Fox News will clown Uncle Phil so he can relate. Now, I gotta say, I actually really love the social media element that they are bringing into this Bel Air show. Because look, for some of us that grew up with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we didn't have the internet at that time. I know we kind of dating ourselves a little bit here, but it wasn't popping like that, right? So it's easier for a lot of older adults to kind of look at this and be like, man, why is Will so torn up about this? Like, it ain't a big deal. Just shrug it off. It's only social media. But we got to remember, a lot of kids were born into social media, just like Will was, right? Like, that is their world. So even if it's just like 5, 10, 20 people on there, like clowning him, that's all he knows. That's all that matters to him. So it's a whole different thing. So I liked how they're bringing that element in, because it's relatable and it is something that's for real. Now, what they should have been roasting was Will's short shorts. Come on, bro. Come on now. You just gonna wear them shorts all above the thigh meat, just for real, all the way up there. Whew, that's what they really should have been roasting. Back at the social media house, the Wayans brothers messed up Hillary's setup. Aunt Viv called Hillary for some help with their memorial event for Lisa's deceased mom. Hillary agrees to come on over to the house and help out. When she arrives, she starts talking with Ashley and talks about how apparently Aunt Viv and Will's mom had a falling out in the past. Uncle Phil sends Jeffrey to take care of some campaign matter, and he finds out later that the Times pulled their political endorsement, and Jeffrey is looking into it. Meanwhile, Lisa is struggling with the passing of her mom and the new woman, Angela, in her dad's life. Will is still trying to honor his word to Carlton by staying away from Lisa. He assumed that her and Carlton were all booed up again. Now, I have to say, I am kind of curious about what was this falling out between Viv and Will's mom, because, earlier there was that weird tension where Will's mom was like, that's my son. That's my son. And I'm like, okay, what is going on here? I heard some people saying some things online saying that maybe Will is actually Aunt Viv's son. I don't know. But either way, I'm interested to see where that conversation between Hillary and Ashley is gonna go. But yo, I gotta say, first of all, every single time like Uncle Phil has to send Jeffrey to go do something, I just assume someone's gonna come up missing. That's just my only assumption at this point. Like, I don't think he's gonna pick up no groceries. He ain't gonna go run no errands. He's just gonna make a couple calls, and somebody might just not show up to work the next day. I don't know. As for Will and Lisa, the only thing I'll say about this so far is it's still a little weird that even for Will, I get it, you like Lisa and all that, but it's still a little weird to be trying to date like your cousin's ex-girlfriend, and they clearly still have a thing. At least Carlton still has a thing for Lisa. It just, I don't know, bro code, dating code, whatever it is, it just feels kind of awkward. During the silent auction, Ashley and her friends come through. Lisa is triggered by Angela's baby. Now, I know earlier in my previous reaction, I had talked about how the way the writing was between Ashley and Hillary when Ashley was like kind of coming out and everything. I had said that it didn't feel authentic. This interaction between Ashley and Hillary felt a lot better. This felt more natural, more, less PSA, and I did appreciate how they kind of just made it a natural flow. Now, to talk about Lisa and Angela, having her baby and Lisa kind of feeling triggered or whatnot, Lisa feels like that this baby is going to be a way to make Angela a real replacement for her mother who passed away. And I like this angle a little bit, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But to me, the mere fact that Lisa is still feeling like this at this point tells me that the trauma of losing her mother hasn't been healed or really processed, I guess. And I don't think she's getting the necessary support, especially from her dad to help her through that grieving process. But again, we'll get to that soon. Angela really wants to connect with Lisa, so she wants to say a couple words during a toast. Aunt Viv checks her and says, "Let it be about Lisa's mom, and this event does not have to be about you." We then get a little bit of math introduced when we find out that Fred met Angela in 2018, but Gail, Lisa's mom, died in 2019. Hillary is hit up yet again by the social house folks, and they inform her that she's facing digital disaster if she doesn't post to her social media real soon. Ashley learns the hard truth that her friend actually likes Will and not her. We go upstairs to Reed, who apparently needs to ask Dora for a map as he claims that he got a little lost around the house. He gasses up Aunt Viv by issuing a bet that if her art sells for a certain amount, then she'll have to put up her art in his gallery. Uncle Phil smelled that stank all the way down the hall, and he later comes in to assess the situation. When they go down to the party, Uncle Phil sees Reed bidding on Aunt Viv's art. He then follows up right behind and outbids Reed's offer. Will talks to Lisa again, and she thinks that Carlton is actually using her. Meanwhile, Carlton is out there snooping and he sees Will and Lisa talking. That triggers him just enough to go visit Snow Mountain once again. Will confronts him and Carlton breaks down crying in his arms. So, first of all, this whole like Hillary thing with the social media stuff, when they sitting there putting all this pressure on her, talking about the algorithm, this and that. I mean, look, I'm not some top digital influencer, so I don't know what it's like to have millions of followers or whatever, and they worried about the algorithm and stuff. But please stop it. You can't post for one day, man, please. And on top of that, I'm gonna need y'all to learn how to schedule your posts too. Just saying, just saying. But anyway, I think that's some hot BS that they need to get rid of, at least for Hillary's sake. But yo, did y'all see when Uncle Phil came in and checked Reed? Like it was a silent check. He ain't have to say nothing. He ain't have to confront him. He just had to show up. And y'all notice he had to give Aunt Viv a couple smooches, like, yeah, what's up, baby? How you doing? Yeah, I love it. All up in that. Yeah. What's up, Playboy? Oh, that was so fun. But did y'all see Aunt Viv slipping? She was slipping. She was like, oh, and Reed had to be like, oh, I'm Reed Roderick, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Viv. Okay. You better watch out. Don't make Uncle Phil call Jeffrey. I'm just saying, Jeffrey, boy. But like when they go downstairs and Uncle Phil outbids Reed, that's the part where I was kind of like, oh man, you playing right into his plan. This dude is gonna have Aunt Viv like in his gallery and all that stuff. I hated that little moment, but of course that's gonna lead to some more drama. Hold up now. Now we done did a little math here. So Lisa's daddy was bogus, talking about you was a good luck charm on the golf course. You saw how Angela tried to clean it up too. She was like, "Oh no, see what happened? Well, we was just talking, and yeah, we was just talking during that time. We ain't. Yeah, all right, no. That's flirting. You all up on the golf course with him and all that stuff. That's flirting. Just being trifling out there. I mean, I ain't trying to judge too hard because I don't know what the relationship was like, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, you got a wife that is dying or ill at home. Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Bruh.
Now, going back to Ashley, I actually kind of appreciated this kind of swerve in the story because I think the assumption was that okay, Ashley's coming out, she likes girls, and hey, maybe this girl likes her back. But I actually like the fact that they kind of showed that like no, she's not interested in that. And I'm not saying, I enjoy her, being rejected. What I'm saying is that I like the fact that they are showing this other side of what happens when you're exploring your sexuality. Everybody's not going to automatically be a match for you. And that's something that you will have to deal with, right? Like that's also a reality. Now, I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line, Ashley's going to find somebody, a girl or a guy, whatever, that, she can have a happy relationship with or whatever. But I do think that this is also important to show that, like, when you are on this journey and you're exploring yourself, it's not always going to be great. Sometimes you're going to come across some bumps in the road. Sometimes you are going to come across people that don't feel the way you feel. So I don't know. I wonder if they'll explore that a little bit more. I know Hillary was kind of talking about how, like, do you want to open up to more people and talk to them or whatever? That's cool. But like I said, I do think that this was a better route with the writing with Ashley's character so far, compared to like what we got earlier on. Now, going back to Carlton, relapsing on drugs and everything, like, I mean, addiction is a real thing, so I definitely don't want to downplay any of that. But at the same time, I'm sitting here thinking about like how in my previous reaction, I was saying that I didn't like how villainous they were really making Carlton. Like the only thing he was doing was just being like evil or against Will or whatever. Not to say that they shouldn't have friction. I'm just saying they try to make him a little too much on that side. But I also understood that this was a great setup for character development. And I think this could be that pivotal moment. I think this could be that moment where where him and Will actually have a turning point. The fact that Will is there comforting him, holding him while Carlton is crying in his arms. I'm like, yo, that's really dope. That's what family should be like. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, you have your ups and downs, but man, at the end of the day, we gotta have each other's back. So I love the imagery. I love what they did with this scene. And I thought it was just great just to show that vulnerability, and at the same time being there for one another. I thought that was great. Lisa performs her poem reading with Will instead of Carlton. Angela still decides to do the most and say a few words during a toast. Aunt Viv said, and told her to quit being such a Karen, or she can get tossed out the door, jazz style. Blue Lives Matter admitted to Uncle Phil that he was the reason why Phil lost the endorsement from the Times because he's going to jump into the DA race. Jeffrey had to smoothly step in and make sure everything was copacetic. Uncle Phil tells him, no, 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 it's all good. Keep an eye on him and also keep an eye on Reed. But Jeffrey already says that's already covered. Woo, already covered. Come through, Jeffrey. Listen, I'm telling y'all, Jeffrey is like, I don't know. What did Lil Wayne say? Real G's moving silence like lasagna. That's Jeffrey. That's Jeffrey right there. He's like, yo, I don't have to get ready because I stay ready. What? Oh, come through. But oh my gosh, look, I just met Angela. We just met her, and I already don't like her because she already a hot mess. I mean, seriously, I'm tired of her and Lisa's daddy. I mean, now we learning that, clearly you probably were cheating on your wife and everything. And plus, think about it like this. What does Lisa know? Does Lisa know about the whole cheating situation? If she doesn't, imagine what's going to happen when she find out. Ooh, that's going to be a mess. Notice something else here too. Notice that it was Fred that actually gave Angela the okay to go ahead and say a few words. So basically, he gave her the okay to go make this all about herself. And not one time did Fred actually decide, let me go talk to my daughter to see how she feels about any of this. Really? Come on, bro. You making us dads look bad out here. So, to my earlier point where I said that Lisa wasn't really getting a lot of support, I don't think her dad has supported her at all. I mean, the mere fact that this example right here, by going and telling Angela, oh, yeah, it's cool, go talk and say whatever you want, that just shows that there's a clear lack of communication between this father and daughter dynamic. And man, oh man, I loved when Aunt Viv checked her like that. Ooh, that was that West Philly. That was that West Philly coming out. I loved it because clearly Angela doesn't know when to just sit down and shut up. She keeps trying to seek validation and trying to make sure that everybody likes her rather than just chill. Just go with the flow. Let things happen naturally. You know, like why can't she just let things be? Why does she have to be in so much control and force the situation to go her way? That's a colonizer mindset. That's a Karen for you. You can't just let things be. You got to make it happen. Chill out. Reed is holding Aunt Viv up to the bet. She agrees to get back into art and to show it to the world. Uncle Phil confronts Carlton about his anxiety and not being there for Lisa. Viv tells Will that Trey is probably just heartbroken since he just lost his best friend. Meanwhile, Hillary is spicing things up with her social media posts. Will then goes out and talks to Lisa and says that he just doesn't want to be the drama in her life. But she says she wants all that drama and more. Well, look, I mean, look, I thought it was kind of funny when Carlton, when Uncle Phil got in the room with Carlton, and Carlton was like, "Oh, Dad, oh." Hey, he thought he was gonna get caught up on the drugs and stuff, but that was a nice little swerve. But I do think that Aunt Viv knows about the drugs. I think Uncle Phil's the only one that doesn't know. I think almost everybody else knows. But speaking of Aunt Viv, like, I don't like Reed. I don't like him. Don't like him. You know why he always got to whisper when he talk? Like what why is it, like, yeah, the art gallery and this, I think your art would be great. Like, why you always whispering? It just kind of give me the feeling that his breath smell. I don't like it. I don't no.
Bruh.
And by the way, I really wonder about this too. Like, Reed and Uncle Phil were the highest bidders. I think there was like one or two other bidders before them, and nobody else like bid after them. Does that mean Aunt Viv's art ain't really popping?
Nah.
Anyway, I really don't like what's going on with Hillary. I don't like this path. Personally, I really love the fact that she was doing her social media, like doing her own thing with the cooking and the style and the fashion. I don't like this idea of like trying to, make it all sexy and spice it up and stuff. Cause for me, I think it's hollow. I think it's shallow. I think it's beneath her. I'm not putting no Instagram models down or whatever, but it seems like for someone like Hillary, that's not what she needs. She doesn't have to go flaunting her body to show off her talents or whatever, because her talents should be able to speak on their own. I hope she just get out of that house. I hope she just goes somewhere else, because like that's just not a good move for her. I just don't think she would have ever done it if it wasn't for that stupid 24-hour rule of posting or whatever. But anyway, and for Will and Lisa, they reconnecting. That's sweet. Good for them. Love it. All good. So anyway, overall, I enjoyed this episode. I thought episode 6 was pretty good. Looking forward to what happens in episode 7. There's got to be some drama. I need to see who Jeffrey gonna handle. I need to see my man Reed get handled, by Uncle Phil. Yamakra ain't gonna be playing that game, man. Don't play with Yamakra, okay? I'm just saying. So we'll see what ends up happening. What did you think about this episode? And what do you think is going to happen in the next episode? Let me know in the comments down below. And I got to say, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate it. If you're new here and you like what you see, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out the next time I drop a video. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all. And until next time, I'll see you all later.